Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the special meeting of Taber Town Council for August 24th, 2020. And we'll call a meeting to order and ask for an adoption of the agenda as presented, please. Sir Garner.
I can make that motion that we accept the agenda as presented.
Motion on the table. All in favor? Carried unanimously. Thank you. No item 3, adoption of minutes, no business arising, no bylaws. Item number 6, action items. Item 6.1, Highway 864 intersection and 56th Avenue extension project addition. Mr. Armfield.
Yeah, I think I'm just going to turn this right over to Ms. Phillips for the explanation. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Ms. Phillips.
On the council meeting good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I'm a little frazzled from running from one location to the next. So at the council meeting on July 22nd, the town of Taber awarded the Highway 64 intersection and 56th Ave extension to McNally contractors. With our Taber Trout Pond meetings, we agreed that there would be great efficiencies to tie in bringing in water and sanitary lines because these services will cross to the other side of Highway 864 to the west side of the highway, so that we'd like to bring those services down to the trout pond. By doing it and tying in with the McNally and the McNally contractors, there's efficiencies doing it in this manner. The engineers estimated that the project would cost $209,150, and by tying it in with this project, it came in at $151,029. We do have a budget of $150,000 in our capital budget for the trout pond for this year. So what we're recommending or requesting is that council reallocates the $150,000 capital budget from the trout pond phase 3 to the capital budget for the Highway 864 intersection and 56th Ave extension. And then we're also asking for approval for a change order for the 56th Ave road extension to include a $151,029 increase, excluding GST, to extend the sanitary and water lines to the trout pond.
All right, thank you, Ms. Phillips. Any questions arising? Councillor Pickering.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, to Ms. Phillips. Is this a recommendation from the Trout Pond Committee?
Yes, it is.
Thank you.
Mr. Brewer.
This water line we're going down there, is that going to be pressurized or is it just going to be filling the tank down there? Like, what are we doing here? We're putting a full service for sewer.
It's enough to supply water to the washrooms and a fill station for the RV, as well as to do the dump station out at the trout pond in a future phase. That would not be included in this, but the lines will be low. They're not deep service lines. They're plowed in lines.
Okay.
So they're not enough for full service for other development.
So these will be shut off in the winter time, like blowing out.
Yeah.
And as well as the sanitary, it's just going to be a dump station there? Or
yes, just the dump station and connecting the washroom. So the water would be taken off of septic.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right, thank you. Any other questions arising? All right, someone prepared to make a motion? Councillor Strauss.
Yes, the council reallocates $150,000 from the 2020 capital budget 4-70-50-645-0041 from the Trout Pond Phase 3 to the 2020 capital budget 4-32-06-610-0074 for the Highway 864 intersection and 56th Avenue extension, and that council approves a change order for the 56th Avenue road extension to include $115,029 increase, including GST, to extend the sanitary and water lines to the trout pond.
All right, thank you. Motion on the table. Any further discussion? Councillor Pickering.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a friendly amendment to Councillor Strover's motion. He said including GST. It should be excluding GST.
Oh, I stand corrected.
All right, thank you. Councillor Bruin.
So it says including the sanitary and water lines. So it is going to be a full sanitary hookup to the town, or is it just a sewer tank?
Line. So we're putting in a dump station out at the trout pond and the washrooms. There will have to be a small pump to pump it back
So we'll be pumping it back into the
to
town
our
system.
town system, yes.
So this will be a full sanitary line that's going in.
Yes.
Okay, that's on a plowed in line that's dug in then, I believe? Or do you blow that out as well?
I believe they were both plowed in lines, not deep services. There was a lot of discussion around that at that Trout Pond meeting, and agreed that due to the services that were planned in that area, that this would be suitable.
Jarfield.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, to council, regardless of how the construction happens, whether they're plowed in or dug in, it's going to be a force main back. So there will be a pump at the Trout Pond end to push the effluent back towards town. It will not be a standard municipal service. It will enter a standard municipal service at 864 and 56th Avenue, and at that point flow by gravity. But along the Trout Pond Road, it'll be a force main forcing it back.
All right, thank you. Councillor Bruin.
Thank you, Mr. Arnfeld. I was just thinking maybe we're putting in full sanitary down, but this doesn't. We're still crossing the highway with the full system, so it's at this time.
Pro Cop 2 Council, the services were full services, a full municipal suite of services are going to be extended to the west side of 864 as part of the original contract. Then as part of taking off from there, that would have been the end of the original contract at just on the west side of Highway 864 with full municipal services. And then from that point, tying in with substandard, I guess you could call it municipal services. Nothing that we would ever, typically lay in town for urban connection, but for connection to the Trout Pond, it definitely satisfies that need. Yeah.
Great, thank you. Councillor Garner.
Yes, through the chair to Ms. Phillips. Is there, on the diagram, I don't see any kind of a turnout or water spigot noted near the dog park. Is that going to be included at the same time?
Yes, I had requested that go in, and Gary assured me that was part of the project. I will confirm that.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Once again, motion on the table. Councillor Becker.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. One more question. On the background page, the last sentence, it says, the amount above the $150,000 will be offset by funds within the contingency on the 56th Avenue project. You're confident of that, Ms. Phillips?
Coming from Mr. Scher, he felt confident with that, yes. Yes.
All right, thank you. Once again, motion on the table. Any further discussion? All in favor? Carried unanimously. Thank you. Thank you very much. Item number 7, no delegations, media inquiries. Trevor, Tabor Times.
Just with this reallocation, guys, where does that leave the status of Trout Pond Phase 3 then?
Just you want to clarify, I'm just not sure exactly.
Oh, just the project, you guys are reallocating funds from Trout Pond Phase 3, right? Isn't that what that motion is saying?
Okay, I think there was $150,000. Correct me if I'm wrong, Ms. Phillips, right? $150,000 earmarked for the Phase 3 portion for 2020 for this project, for Trout Pond related projects.
Right. I'm just asking where that leaves the status of that project then, if you're reallocating those funds.
I think Ms. Phillips, just correct me if I'm wrong again, that's reallocated from, because of this, the project going on with the 864 scope, I guess, if you will. This is an add-on to that particular project to take care of our Trout Pond project needs. Does that make sense?
It makes sense.
Ms. Phillips, maybe you can help me out a little bit there. I think, am I missing something? Mr. Arnfeld?
Yeah, if I could assist. This is the Trout Pond project.
Okay. So, am I misunderstanding how that can allocate resolution reach?
Do you want to maybe just, if we're going to have a discussion, if you wouldn't mind going back up to the microphone just so the viewing audience at home can catch the dialogue. So essentially there was $150,000 within that Trout Pond Phase 3 for Trout Pond improvements for 2021. The Trout Pond Committee identified this water and sanitary extension out to the Trout Pond as their wish for how to spend that $150,000 for the improvements of the Trout Pond. The reason that we've allocated now those two projects together is because the quote came out in at $151,000 and change, so we were just over $100,000 surpassing the $150,000 trout pond phase 3 budget. So we put those two projects together, and then the contingency from the 56th Avenue will make up for the $1,000 extra. So then we don't have to worry about breaking that trout pond budget by going over by $1,000 and amalgamating the two of them, which it's going to be looked after by the same construction effort as what's happening right now on the 56th Avenue and then down to the trout pond. So it essentially becomes one project after deliberations of the trout pond committee to say, this is how we want to invest our $150,000 in 2021.
Oh, so that's more of an allocation.
Yeah, it's
just confusing.
We're synthesizing two projects into one, essentially, so that one that came in a little bit over budget can be helped by the one that is hopefully going to be under budget.
Okay, I understand now.
And just Trevor, just to be clear, so it came out earlier that the estimate was around about $210,000 from the MPE if it was a standalone. So that's how that all comes together, with a $60,000 difference. Possibly if you're doing standalone, as I say. All right. Okay. Any other questions?
No questions.
All right. With that, I'd ask for a motion to close the meeting, please. Councillor Garner.
Make a motion that we close this special meeting.
Motion on the table. All in favor? Carried now. Thank you.
You didn't want to
You didn't have
discuss
any
the motion?
Okay.